Oh, lordy, lordy, lordy. Welcome to my new office for Silicon Dojo at American Underground at the American Tobacco campus. So I've been doing these classes at American Underground now since October. They were at the old place before, and since they were at the old place before, they gave me a really good deal on a really big office. Well, guess what? We moved. And when we moved, my deal on office space went away. So this is now my office here. Anyways, the important thing is they have a huge common room area I can use for doing Silicon Dojo classes, and they have a nice training room, and they have other nice meeting rooms. So to be clear, I'm not really paying for this. This isn't the value proposition for American Underground. It's just, or I guess I try to take a nap when I'm a little bit tired. So yeah, it is moving day. It is moving day. Is this sexy for you? Does this make you excited, passionate about startup life? Look at all those books over there. So those are all the books for the class tonight. So we were doing the class on cybersecurity for AI projects. Lordy, lordy. Anywho, that is not why you're here. You're here to learn me scream about ARM now actually manufacturing their own CPUs, or that's probably not the case. They're probably getting somebody else to manufacture them. I'm not really sure who. I think TSMC is all booked up. And maybe they're getting Intel. Maybe ARM is getting Intel to make their CPUs. Who knows? It's 2026. So I think this is an interesting thing to be thinking about. Right now, again, as the tech world kind of goes insane, I question whether or not this is a good idea. So if you don't understand the value of ARM up until this point in time, ARM has simply designed processors. They've basically designed the processors and come up with a licensing scheme, and then major companies purchase those licenses, modify the licenses for ARM processors as they see fit, and then they get somebody else to manufacture the processors for them, right? So basically, like Apple here, Apple licenses the ARM standard. They then do some engineering on that. They then hand that over to TSMC or Samsung, or I guess a little bit of Intel at this point in time, and then those are the fabs that actually manufacture the chips. So one of the things that has been good for the last, God knows, couple of decades with ARM is ARM has been a bit like TSMC. So with TSMC, all TSMC does is they're simply a fab. They don't actually manufacture or sell any of their own silicon. Basically, NVIDIA and Intel and Apple, all those companies come to them. They get them to fab, right? And the valuable part about that is that TSMC is in no way, shape, or form a competitor to these other companies. So basically, again, if you're dealing with a technology company, there's a lot of intellectual property that's kind of difficult to secure, right? Right. There's the patents, right? There's the copyrights and that kind of stuff. But there's a way of doing things. There's basic knowledge transfer. There's basic workflow. There's a lot of stuff that is incredibly value in the production of something that simply can't be monopolized. Like once that information is known by somebody else, right? So Apple can work really closely with TSMC because they know TSMC isn't going to take the value of that information and try to extract it, right? They can work closely, right? NVIDIA can work closely with TSMC, and they don't have to worry about TSMC turning around and producing their own GPUs, that type of deal. And that's been the valuable thing with ARM, right? So all these companies, they don't want to deal with Intel, they go to ARM, and they haven't had to worry about ARM being a competitor, so they can have some open conversations, figure things out. What is best for Apple? What is best for NVIDIA? What is best for all these different companies that are using ARM processors? The interesting question becomes, what happens when ARM starts producing and selling their own CPUs? Now they are in fact a competitor to their own customers, which is basically the same horseshit we've been seeing for the past 20 years, 2 decades. What happens is you have these vendors get too valuable, they get too powerful, they are seeking some other way to make money, and so they decide, hey, you know who's making a lot of money? Yeah, our customers, our clients are making a lot. Hey, what if we started doing what our customers are doing? And you're like, oh God. I mean, it's not particularly incorrect, but is that really the way we want to go? So we take a look at this. This is actually coming from ARM itself, ARM's newsroom, announcing the ARM AGI GPU, the Silicon Foundation for the agentic AI cloud era. Today, ARM is announcing the ARM AGI CPU, a new class of production-ready silicon built on the ARM Neoverse platform and designed to power the next generation of AI infrastructure. For the first time in our more than 35-year history, ARM is delivering its own silicon products. So that's the important thing to understand with all of this is ARM is now actually shipping and selling their own silicon, extending the ARM Neoverse platform beyond IP and ARM compute subsystems to give customers greater choice in how they deploy ARM compute, from building custom silicon to integrating platform-level solutions or deploying ARM design processors. It reflects both the rapid evolution of AI infrastructure and growing demand from the ecosystem for production-ready ARM platforms that can be deployed at pace and scale. And this again is where I say the AI fraud is infecting everybody's brain, right? If there's so much money, if AI is worth trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars, everybody wants to know how to get their hand on a cut of that pie. Simply doing the business that they've been really good at for the past 35 years, simply supporting their own customers and clients to make their customers and clients more successful so that the customers and clients buy more product from them. No, you can't be doing that in the modern world of technology and artificial intelligence. You've always got to be going for, basically how to sell your own particular shovels. And that's where, again, I do wonder about this because all of these companies are going after this AI play. So basically it's making everybody, it's like this weird, everybody is like a co-conspirating competitor in the biggest Ponzi scheme that's ever existed. We go and take a look at this. Again, they've got a lot of stuff. Every element of the ARM AGI GPU, from operating frequency to memory and I/O architecture, has been designed to support massively parallel, high-performance agentic workloads in a densely populated rack deployment. And this is one of the things to be thinking about too, right? This is not a commoditized piece of hardware. So there will be an argument. There is an argument for, hey, what if this is just white box garbage? Like, look, we all need a lot of switches. We all need a lot of routers. We all need like storage servers or that kind of horse crap. What if ARM just starts producing processors, basically just commodity, right? You're just gonna sell them by the bucket loads. Again, at that point, you're not really that worried about intellectual property. You are, but it's not that big a deal. The important thing to understand here is though they're looking to be, at the cutting edge of this particular technology. So anything they learn from their customers or clients, that might wind up in their hardware to then compete with their customers and clients. ARM's reference server configuration is a 10U. That is going to be a beast. Any thoughts on how heavy a 10U system is going to be? 2-node design packing 2 chips with dedicated memory and I/O for a total of 272 cores per blade. These blades are designed to fully populate a standard air-cooled 36 kilowatt rack, 30 blades delivering a total of 8,160 cores. ARM has additionally partnered with Supermicro on a liquid-cooled 200 kilowatt design capable of housing 336 ARM AGI CPUs for over 45,000 cores. Yeah, you thought your gaming rig was pretty cool. In this configuration, the ARM AGI CPU is capable of delivering more than 2x of performance per rack compared to the latest x86 systems, achieved through the fundamental advantages of ARM architecture and the careful matching of systems resources to compute. Meta is the leading partner, so Meta is going to be purchasing these things to begin with, co-developing the ARM AGI CPU to optimize gigawatt scale infrastructure for its Meta family of apps. Let's see, other launch partners include Cerebras, Cloudflare, F5, OpenAI, Positron, Rebellions, SAP, and SK Telecom, each working with ARM on the deployment of the AGI CPU. Commercial systems are now available for order from AS Rock Rack, Lenovo, and Supermicro. So yeah, I just kind of think this is kind of an interesting thing, just to keep an eye on. Again, in this modern world of whatever is going on with the competitive landscape in a technology environment. Again, where people that were competitors are now collaborating, and then people that were, vendors are now competing against their customers. And the whole question of basically, at the end of the day, where does that fall out? I do want to think one of the interesting things now is, again, the whole question of the hardware stack. So for much of my career, right, the Wintel hardware stack, basically everything ran x86 processors and had Windows on it for decades, and then that all started falling apart, especially with ARM processors and that type of deal. And so what becomes interesting now too is to be thinking about like the hardware infrastructure, and you think about these stacks. Again, the hardware stack. So many times we don't really consider the hardware stack anymore, right? The hardware stack is for somebody else to deal with. Eli, I'm important. I don't deal with hardware stacks. I do think it becomes interesting, again, now that we have so many different hardware stacks now, right? So again, like if you're doing AI, Google has their tensors, their tensor processing units. You have NVIDIA's doing their thing. You have other people with ASICs processors doing those things. You now have ARM coming out with their own CPUs and doing their things. And I think it's going to be very interesting to basically look at the whole speccing out hardware, even if you're not buying hardware yourself, even if you're not buying hardware and putting it into a rack, if you're using cloud, simply actually doing the appropriate testing to verify what hardware works the best for you. Again, if you go back 10, 15 years, whether you used Rackspace or whether you used Amazon or Azure, it was all the same hardware. Basically, you had like these virtual CPUs and some garbage like that. But realistically, under the hood, it was all the exact same hardware. So your code, more or less, would run the same across all these different platforms. The difference was cost, the difference was support contracts, the difference was security and that type of thing, right? You weren't actually looking at that base performance thing, right? And so what's interesting now is looking at this is I think actually worrying about how well does your particular system function on different hardware is going to become a bigger and bigger question. As I've said before, remember, the AI stack is incredibly immature. It is sold as if it is a mature stack. It is just simply factually, functionally a immature stack at this point. And now we're seeing ARM get into the race. And then the question is going to be, going into the future, how comfortable are a lot of companies going to be dealing with ARM? Right, so we talked about RISC-V. Was it RISC-V? RISC. They have the open source RISC CPU, open source CPU, basically. That wasn't really going very, very far for a while. Like, it existed, people were doing it, but it wasn't going very far. Then it was interesting because China started pushing the RISC-V standard, and the reason they were is because they were getting shut out of the American market, and since it's open source, it's something they can use and they don't have to worry about. What does become interesting now is now that ARM is becoming a competitor of their own customers, does that start pushing their customers to start looking at developing for the RISC standard? Maybe that starts pushing into that particular direction. It'll be interesting to see how it goes over the next couple of years. So what do you think about this? What do you think about ARM actually producing their own CPUs? Do you think this is a good idea? Do you think it is 2026? Put your thoughts down below. Do remember, I do these videos in order to support Silicon Dojo, free hands-on technology education that empowers you to do whatever the hell it is you want to do here in Durham, North Carolina. Literally in a number of hours. I'm doing a class here on cybersecurity and artificial intelligence projects. We do these classes every couple of weeks here, plus we do 1-day boot camps, 2-day boot camps, that type of deal. So if you're interested, take a look at silicondojo.com. If you want to support what I do, there's a donor box link down below. And with that, see y'all later.